Today's episode, we talk conspiracies and a striker who racked up over 200 million in transfer fees. But could it have been money laundering? This is the Attacking Football Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Attacking Football Podcast. I am your host, Tom Miller, here with the AF panel. How are we doing today, guys?
Oh, good, baby. I didn't think we were the AF panel, but I guess we are.
You especially, Paddy. You especially, Paddy, are the AF panel.
I'll take
I could get that on a t-shirt.
Don't make me tempted.
Merch.
All right, guys, you can find our merch. Where can we find the merch, Paddy? Did you have or did you just make that up on the spot?
I don't have the time for this.
I'm going to intro. Let's give Paddy a few more administrative duties. But I intro the AF panel. We have noted author L.A. Matthews. How you doing, L.A.?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Good. You're from just outside Manchester. The weather okay there?
Yeah, I mean, it's with massive thunderstorms, but yeah, we're good. It's always raining here.
Yeah, I've been there. It is always raining. Irish Kingpin Daniel Whooley in a new spot today. How are we doing, Daniel?
Doing as great as ever. I think we're hearing some of those that thunder over here in Ireland as well. It's been a chaotic few days of bad weather.
That's fair. And FPL Paddy, what's going on, man? How you doing over there?
Well, apparently I'm dropping some new merch soon. So I'm doing okay, I guess.
Yeah, to set up a store and to set up t-shirts and everything, it's just a few more hours, man.
Oh, yeah. Like, as in, yeah, I'll just find them somewhere.
All right, well, Paddy figures out his time management situation, guys. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about on the pod today. We have football conspiracies, which I'm really excited about. We've been bouncing around the topic for a little while. That one's going to be good. Then we have some football chants, your favorite bad football chants, and I have bad news for you guys. Spoiler alert, the Americans have this one on lockdown on football, American football, basketball, you name it. We got the worst chants. And then finally, we'll do some predictions for the top of the table in the Premier League for the season coming up. Hey, guys, let's start off on our football conspiracies, a very fun topic, especially if you've been drinking and with your friends, the football conspiracies that we all know and love. Paddy, you want to kick us off?
Sure thing. So my conspiracy is about a man called Bebe. Before he joined Man United, nobody knew who he was. He was signed to almost no fanfare, but he was signed for 7.4 million. Before he joined Man United, he was homeless and he just sort of came from nowhere. The conspiracy, though, isn't about why this happened. Well, I guess it is, but it's about the sinister reasons behind it. There is a rumor or a conspiracy, whatever you want to call it, that Sir Alex Ferguson did this as a favor to Carlos Queiroz. I don't know if any of you have heard this, but apparently Nani. Now this is okay, so I'm just going to say this so I don't get sued. I know Sir Alex Ferguson or whatever is watching this pod. I love you, man, but this 7.4 million was a payment allegedly. I have to keep on saying that, because Nani failed a drugs test before the World Cup. Alleged to have failed one. During this, there was a favour done by Carlos Queiroz, who was Sir Alex Ferguson's ex-assistant coach. And the rumour was that he was on PEDs, and because of the sports or the ban that he could have faced, he got injured. So he was sent back to Manchester. Now, it's very easy to just think, oh, Carlos Queiroz and Nani and Sir Alex Ferguson, but the real conspiracy comes from Jorge Mendes. Jorge Mendes was the agent of both Bebe, and he was the agent of Carlos Queiroz. So there's some talk about a little backhand there between them. But yeah, that's my conspiracy. I don't know if anybody believes it or if there's foundations to it.
I have never heard that one, but I really like it because it has enough realism through. Anytime you're talking agents or fees or anything, you can get into some pretty muddy waters. And when Bebe was transferred for what, like 7 million, you said, it really was a head scratcher for everybody. And it was just an underline. They didn't really announce him with any kind of fanfare either. So it definitely seemed like that. And worth noting that I don't think Bebe ever did anything. I think he got transferred out and ended up in LA, you're shaking your head. He ended up in Portuguese like league.
Yeah.
He actually moved to Spain and played for Vallecano. He was actually quite good in
did.
Spain, yeah. But the thing is, when he played for United, it wouldn't have been so mysterious if it wasn't for the fact that instead of highlights, he had lowlights. So
Well,
played
I think you
well-
could pick some other players that had low lights.
yeah, who cost a lot more.
Overton around that period, if you guys remember that.
The
one,
most
too.
beautiful man in the world.
I fully believe he was a plant too.
Daniel, what do you got for a conspiracy? Good luck beating that.
So this is about Alvaro Morata, and I guess this is the easy one because whenever Morata comes up as a link, you're kind of going, he's at where now? And I pulled up transfer market, and if you see the teams he's been at over the last few years and the fees, it's kind of nuts. So he started off as a Real Madrid academy player, was sold to Juventus for 20 million, and then 2 years later he went from Juventus back to Real Madrid for 30 million, where he was then there for a year, sold to Chelsea for 66 million, was there for another 2 years before he was loaned to Atletico Madrid with a loan fee of 18 million, comes back from Chelsea, Atletico Madrid then buy him for 35 million, and then he's loaned again at Atletico to Juventus for another 20 million loan fee. so
What's the total on that?
that comes to
Like
about
200?
190 million, give or take.
Was this talked about in the intro?
Trying to
Oh
help
my
you
god.
guys.
This guy, if he's ever pulled by border force at any airport anywhere in the world, his suitcases are just going to be money. It's just going to be full of cash. I'm taking
Unless-
this in, lads.
So you can see a clear path here where money's moving back and forth over this forward, who I think we can all agree is pretty average, right? Like his goal scoring record, I think shoots around 1 and 3, or maybe a little below that even. Depending on which league he's in, the worst league he was in, like Spain, I think he was right around 1 and 2 for a little while. But you guys see everybody else is in on the joke, and then Chelsea wasn't in on the joke.
I mean, it's
they're all
Chelsea.
both like 20, 30, 40 million, and then Chelsea's like 65 million, baby.
Yeah,
We're throwing on you.
this guy's
This
good.
was in a time when 65 million wasn't a common transfer fee either.
I know.
I think-
it was just
I think the thing is with Chelsea, players just go there. I think it would be like a legitimate conspiracy if it was like not Chelsea. Because Chelsea
Yeah.
has signed some seriously good strikers over the years. Like Andrei
Yeah.
Shevchenko, he went there, a world-class player, turns into one of the
He's
worst
failed
strikers in the
too.
league. Massively. I think the only strikers that you can think over the last probably 20 years who've been good at Chelsea have been Diego Costa and Drogba. Apart from that, all terrible.
Yeah. It's actually a who's who's list of failed strikers too. It's like Eto'o, Shevchenko, Fernando Torres. Like that's a really
Yeah.
amazing group. Go ahead, Dan.
But even some of those, like, I know obviously it's kind of the shtick now would be Drogba, and he had some amazing goals, but his goal record wasn't great either. So
Yeah.
while he was a big time player, he also wasn't
Yeah.
a consistent scorer. So beyond that, like Chelsea don't have a number 9 problem, and as much as I want to boil that down to a curse, I'm also seeing that like even when they got Werner, like clearly Werner was not the sort of striker they wanted, and now they've bought. Like Felix also is not the sort of striker, and again was played horrific towards the end of the season. I know they've got nkunku, who again I
Not
love,
a striker.
like is a number 10, but they're going to play him as a striker because it means Lukaku's coming back and he's not coming back.
To be fair,
So
like
Chelsea was really bad.
Lukaku should have been, as in at Inter Milan when they signed him and he was brought back. He was that guy. He should have been that player who just transformed them into title challengers. But what happened there?
And it's funny. I actually think I remember. I'm not sure if you guys remember when there was this. I think Chelsea and United were swapping targets between Morata and Lukaku constantly throughout the summer. And I remember specifically that when Morata went to Chelsea, he had his hair dyed red, and I think everyone suspected that he thought he was going to go to United. I actually thought that if he had gone to United, he could have done really well. Now, I've never watched a lot of Morata, but whenever I've seen him, he seems like a really tidy number 9 that can hold the ball up well and release.
Technically good,
I
yeah.
think that's a player who we need right now.
Yeah, but the Manchester United board aren't clever enough to be involved in this conspiracy, lads.
Yeah.
You know what Chelsea should do though? They should consider using AI to pick their next striker, shouldn't they?
Couldn't do worse.
Mm.
They
I
can
think
take
it.
AI
I
up
don't.
front for them and then score more goals than Lukaku.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. It's not a curse. I think it's absolutely a curse. I'm on the curse board. Whoever's on the curse boat is with me in terms of Chelsea strikers. Those names that we just mentioned are like it's like 4 or 5 of the best strikers in the last 20 years, and they failed at Chelsea. I think it's definitely a curse. And Morata, if you guys remember, he actually started out really well at Chelsea. I think he had like 6 and 7. And then from there to the end of the season, he had more yellow cards than goals.
Oh, he just fell off massively. Speaking about AI though, LA,
Yeah.
I think it might be leading into your next conspiracy.
Yeah, so Sheikh Jassim doesn't exist. And there's nothing that you can say that is going to convince me otherwise. The man is computer generated. Somebody has
Cancelled.
been on chat. Somebody's been on Chat GPT and they've typed in Qatari Sheikh image, and it's spat out a picture. And the Qatari state have just gone, "Yep, okay, cool. We'll use this picture to front our bid for this British institution football club." But the man doesn't exist. There's no video footage of him anywhere. That he's not a real person. He doesn't exist.
I found a video because I know, you know how I was saying earlier I don't have enough time to do merch and all that.
Yeah,
I have enough time to search up to find out if this man's real, and I found a video of him speaking, and it looked like I did. Do you remember like as in, you know, Tom, you probably don't remember this, but back in the day, there used to be this thing on Comedy Central called badly dubbed porn, and
yeah,
it was like that. Oh, Dan, you're probably too young for it, but yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have to show my age.
Yeah.
I'm just checking the rating on this podcast real quick.
It's gone 18 plus all of a sudden. But this was a more a TV show where it wasn't like supposed to be sexual. It was supposed to be like really bad. What it is, with people going like, "Oh yeah, you really like that goat? Oh yeah."
It's like bad overdubs.
Yeah, exactly. It was like that. But I saw a video of him speaking, and it was like that. And I'm not saying he would appear in that sort of TV show, but he looked like he could have.
Paddy, sorry, you heard an actor speaking over some footage. You did not hear him speaking. He doesn't exist.
True, this is the conspiracy. Yes, I get it.
Yes, there is a voice actor. It's probably that guy that does football impressions. You seen the guy on Twitter? Probably him. Is it Al? Al Foran?
Yeah, Al Foran. Yeah, sound lad.
Yeah.
He's Irish as well. Yeah, and a United fan.
Yeah, no, it's him. He's doing the voiceover.
I don't think he is.
There's nothing any of you gentlemen can do. Nothing.
I completely buy this one, and it's the most likely to be true.
So you're aware, if he does buy the club and does for whatever reason show up at Old Trafford as a look, I've bought the club, it is just a man in a Sheikh Jassim suit. Just
what I think fascinating is I genuinely believed this for a while when that image was the only image of him ever. And obviously like it looks pretty badly photoshopped to either hide blemishes or whatever. But it clearly looks like a fake person or somebody like that. Someone trying to badly Photoshop a face onto this, and obviously all the like news aggregators were using this one image, and I was like, this man is not real. Like clearly they just picked some fella off the street, was like getting a photo. He was like, yeah, whatever. And then when they were like, people actually seem interested in this, they were like, fuck, we already have one person.
We need to generate more images.
As soon as Sir Jim Ratcliffe started moving ahead in the bidding process, suddenly an image appeared, a new image of Sheikh Jassim appeared of him in a Manchester United kit. But it was just a crowd shot. They'd taken a random picture of some people at Old Trafford and dropped a head on top of it. It was just a picture. It was like Getty Images. They'd gone in and they typed Old Trafford crowd and just stuck an Asian man's head on top. That's it.
I 100% agree. And Patty, I enjoy your photo dumps when when all of a sudden Google Images will come up with like, oh my God, there's 20 new images that just showed up. I Googled it yesterday and it was just this one, this like shark-eyed guy sitting there with a fake background. And now we have ones of like he's sitting in a group and they're having a conversation and it's like he's like mid talk now, and you're like, this is totally fake.
But yeah, I had to learn Arabic. I had to learn Arabic to find him.
Well, you're talking about time management. I think Arabic might be that thing as you're going to bed. You put on the headphones and you just kind of listen to the language on tape, or it gives you one line at a time. Just do that while you're sleeping, man. That's extra time.
I don't think I'd fall asleep.
If this podcast was go on.
I was just going to say, speaking about things that could put you to sleep, what about the worst or your favorite chants? Is that a good segue? Is that a good segue?
That's a great segue. Slick. That was a great segue. That was slick.
Ta-da!
The worst chance. See, I'll just wait for you guys to kick all yours through, and then I'll drop like 2 or 3 American ones that are 1,000 times more embarrassing than anything else. In all honesty, you know what, Daniel, you kick off.
I'm going to start with the most wholesome chant I have, and it's from personal experience. Turning up to Daily Mount every other Friday, and it's a guy. He's really nice. His name is Barry. He is.
Everybody loves Barry.
Yeah. Like Barry's what, in his 50s, 60s. He's a nice guy.
Who knows? I've bumped into him on nights out and he's chatting the arse off every single woman and they're all running away from him.
Yeah.
That's the dream. That's the dream.
He's a nice guy, but I don't know how to explain Barry.
There is no way to describe Barry.
He's become a cult icon for the club, and what happens is he walks up and down Daily Mount, up the Joe stand, and to different sections of the crowd, he chants, "Give me a B, give me an O, give me a H, give me an S," and specifically around the end sections where all the, I don't want to say ultras, but where all the rowdy fans are.
Yeah, I sit
it's an
there.
absolute cracker.
Do you sit there?
And then, I used to be either in block.
I'm an F.
What? In F? I'm either between F or G, about midway up. The only excuse is I don't mind it, but my friend who brings his brother along, he's a bit of a new fan, so we don't want to drop him in.
Oh yeah, it can be a bit intense.
In it straight away.
Oh yeah.
But God bless, I brought one of my friends, and I don't know why, but I think I'm quite timid. I don't think I'm rowdy. And then
football changes people.
It was in the Dundalk game, and we were sitting in the middle of Block G, and I was joining in with the crowd with the chants, and they were like, "Who the hell is this person here?"
You went from Daniel to Dano in a second.
Oh.
All right, so what I got out of that conversation is that you guys are ultras. Got it.
Oh yeah. We fight people all the time. Dan, one of my favorite memories of Barry is, remember at Croke Park during COVID when we were playing Powak and the Aviva. No, it wasn't Croke Park. It was in the Aviva. During that game at Powak, when we were playing them at home, Barry walked around the whole stadium, and he was the whole stadium, and he was like, "Give me a B," and he did it in every corner. This guy's a League of Ireland legend, let me tell you that. But yeah, he's some man.
So you guys said worst chants. That sounds like an awesome chant.
Yeah,
that's the most wholesome one.
I'm waiting for my invite now. I'm seriously, I'm going to come over. I'm going to come to this game. I need to know this guy.
Oh, he's at every game.
I don't know if it's a bad start to worst chants, guys. That was a great chant.
Oh yeah, this is like favorite / worst. No.
Oh yeah, I got you.
I don't know if it's our worst, but the one I enjoy the most in a cringy way is, for some reason, Bows have also adopted Johnny Logan's "Hold Me Now" chant.
That's a beautiful chant.
I love it, but equally, it's hard to explain why we are now singing a Eurovision song from the 80s and it brings nearly every person to tears in the stadium. It's something else.
We've got a few of them as well. Like as in, there's what's the Dubliner song we sing? All along the banks of the Royal Canal.
Oh yeah.
That's beautiful as well. But yeah,
and then the
everyone's switching off the podcast now.
Yeah, so yeah, we got to segue into the cringe ones.
We'll move on.
I love that. That was great.
But yeah, I'll talk about one which is terrible, and it's there. I'm pointing at it right now. So this is hands down the pinnacle of chanting that anybody's ever done. Back in the day, Hull were in the Premier League and this went viral. Their fans were beating somebody, probably 1 or 2-0, and they started going, "You're getting mauled by the Tigers, mauled by the Tigers," while doing the hand movements. You can see in the image and what I'm doing right now. They were getting mauled by the Tigers. And it's just created one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It was depressingly beautiful, but it gave me good memories. That's probably
Can you do this again? Can you just give me
You
one more?
you just want it to be gift.
No, we need a thumbnail for the pod.
No. I was thumbnail last week.
There.
Tom, you
Right
can
there,
be
like
it.
that.
You can be it. You can be it. But
Was this
I will-
time that famous celebration happened? I know we're doing chants, but do you remember the one where Jimmy Bullard set everybody in the centre circle?
yeah,
Oh, that's a good one. We'll have to
Was
do
that
that
around the same time?
celebrations.
we could do that next
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm
I
gonna
will
write that
say
down
though,
for you guys.
if I was on the opposition team and they just scored against me, and it's in the 70th or 80th minute, and you're losing your and the crowd does that to you, your head is gone. It is gone. There's no way you're recovered from that. Like you cannot back your team. You have reached rock bottom, and there's no way you can out.
You can't
cringe that
outmaul.
chance.
You can't
You
outmaul
know you
someone.
can't. What are you gonna do? Give it back to them?
Yeah, you can't be. If you're mauled, you can't do anything. You've been mauled.
You guys
a
don't
great
think
way to-
Brighton? You don't think Brighton could come up with something with the Seagulls? Come back at that? You don't
What
think
are
so?
they gonna do?
Shut
Like
by
eat
the
your food?
seagulls.
I
Shut
don't
on
know.
by the seagulls.
Yeah, there you go.
I hope they do that.
That would be incredible.
I'm going
That
to
would
buy
be
a
incredible.
Brighton season ticket and I'm going to go there and I'm going to chant that at every game until it catches on.
You will be barred.
That
Yeah.
reminds me of an iconic YouTube video way back in the day. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but when someone fed laxatives a load of seagulls around Brighton. I think it was in Brighton.
Oh,
And then someone recorded a video like half an hour later of all the seagulls.
oh.
We're
kind of
laughing at animal
losing it.
abuse.
We're going to get shut down by the RSPCB.
Oh well, that's in England. We don't care.
I'm the only one. No, I'm not. I'm in Wales. I'm not even in England.
That's
So,
right.
yeah,
You're in a
let's
different
get shut
place
down
every
by them.
time. LA, do you have any chants that don't have to do with seagulls crapping on things?
No.
No, that was it.
Interestingly, just
Oh no.
plug alert. I actually I wrote the top 5 best football chants on the Attacking Football website.
Read it.
Link is in the bio.
That's a plug. That's a great plug.
Oh yeah,
Getting better at this segue game, aren't we?
I know, right? So when I was doing research on that article, there were a few that really made me laugh, and that was just reading them. I went onto YouTube and started listening to some of the chants, and there's 2 that stick out. One, do you guys remember Andy Gorham?
I have no idea who
Which
that is.
one?
Paddy read the article. Okay, so Andy Gorham, he was a goalkeeper for Scotland and Rangers, and he was away on international duty. And the club doctor diagnosed him with schizophrenia, sent him home. Now, mental health issues never funny, but I don't think in Scotland they necessarily care about being particularly politically correct, because at every ground up and down Scotland for the next few seasons was there's only two Andy Gorhams, which is just, it's the wittiest thing in the world. It's cruel, but it's so clever.
The thing is with Scottish people, like, you can't expect them to be reasonable because they eat battered Mars bars. They eat battered pizzas. These people are crazy.
You can't reason with a man who pickles an egg, or scotches an egg. You just doesn't work.
So we can't live by their standards. So if they make a joke about somebody's mental health, all we can do is listen to it and laugh.
Yeah.
I have one more. That reminded me of one more chant, and I'll keep it quick. So a bit of context. In Ireland, there was a whole Mica scandal where people's buildings had building defects, and as a result, buildings were falling down. And this was generally hit in the north of the country, in the likes of Donegal, where there's also a team in the League of Ireland called Finn Harps, who are also incredibly bad and were in a relegation battle. And at the end of the season, people were singing, "You're going down with your houses." What was it? You're going down with your houses.
You're going down with your houses.
And people, like, rightly, were getting really, really mad. But equally, you've got to see the sense of humor in a joke that was both correct, as they got relegated and their house was also falling down.
And people call football fans idiots. There's so much nuance in that chant.
There's poetry. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I love almost, like, probably like 80% of the chants I hear on Premier League Saturdays and Sundays. I actually really enjoy, especially since the songs, like you guys were saying, the songs are from like 1980s Eurovision stuff. They're so obscure. It's not like they're using Beatles song for every single riff. It's these crazy obscure songs. And I was thinking about it. You know, the one I heard this year that you hear on and off is "We Lose Every Week." I heard it from Chelsea this year when Man United played Chelsea. "We lose every week. We lose every week. You're nothing special. We lose every week." I think that's phenomenal. And it's much better than anything the U.S. has to offer. We have things like defense. That's it. Defense.
You have some good ones, though. You have some good chants in the US.
Occasionally you stick two other words in front of that. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Defense. There is no "let's go" offense chant in any sport, but defense is universal. And if you're feeling like ambitious, you can actually hold up the letter D and then a portion of a fence. It doesn't matter where you got it, and it's D and fence. And the best part about that is when you see it on TV, they're always out of order. So it's like fence D, and it just kills that chant completely. We also have, like, the U.S. national team for football has like fight, win, fight,
and win.
And a couple other really, really deliberate ones.
I really like the one that me and you can sing together.
What's that?
I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win. I believe that we will win.
It's much more deliberate than that. It's so much longer because it starts with "I," and then the crowd says "I," and then I believe that, I believe that we, all the way through. It's like a drinking game that I played when we were like 17 years old. It's the same exact thing. You're just trying to do to make a sentence out of it, and it's like 3 minutes long. It's the best we have, though. I don't think we have anything better than that.
Can I end this section? Can I end this section with the chant? Yes, the chant that was voted the best football chant, not by me, but by fans up and down the country.
Go on.
I'm not sure if you saw the article, viewers. You may have to go and actually read it.
I may have edited it.
Yeah. When Rio Ferdinand was banned for missing a drugs test. Now, those of you who know, Rio used to play for West Ham. And when Manchester United went to play then it was Upton Park, they had a song waiting for him to the tune of Duran Duran. His name is Rio and he watches from the stand. Genius. Absolute pinnacle of football.
Sometimes you just get chants like that which are just so good.
Yeah. I think that the British fan base can handle any kind of conspiracies or any kind of
Yeah.
any kind of controversy in the best possible way. You know, when Kurt Zuma
And
had
the
the cat
Irish as well.
incident. Yeah, well, the Irish sound better when they do it, obviously. But it says when Kurt Zuma kicked his cat, the songs that came out of that, anytime there's a completely serious incident, you get something good out of the fan bases.
Football fans don't care about getting cancelled on Twitter. Let's be real. They just like making funny chants. That's it.
I love
Apparently,
it.
neither do we. We've got seagull diarrhea and kicking cats in this week's podcast. Did you open with that in the intro?
We were
those were
we
set
opened
in
with
character.
conspiracies
Yeah.
Those all those things were said in character about other people, so it wasn't to us directly, so we cannot
Yeah.
get canceled. That's a comedy. That's a comedy secret. That's what they always do.
Love that.
Can't get cancelled
Love that.
because you know what? Can't cancel somebody who doesn't get paid to work on this. It's all for free, baby.
We need to renegotiate our contracts.
Yeah.
We have
Until the merch
contracts?
money rolls in.
Contracts? Hold on.
You signed a contract.
LA, what do you mean by that?
Hey, I've got an agent, boys.
Speaking about contracts on the table.
Oh no.
Oh, should we move to another kind of table prediction?
Oh!
Seamless.
3 for 3.
Oh, these are stinking transitions.
hang on,
I'm not
hang
gonna
on.
lie.
Paddy
I
is
love
on
transition.
fire.
Your
What
defense
can I say?
terrified.
What can I say? What can I say? It's just really warm.
So what are we doing? Are we doing
Alright,
top 6?
Yeah, I think we don't really have to talk too much about who's going to be champions next season. It's going to be Burnley.
Full up. Oh my god.
But
I
we all.
didn't get the memo that this
Guys,
is going to be interactive. This is
Oh,
amazing. You can
oh,
slide it
yeah.
around.
Look at this. Ooh,
Oh, man, we're big time.
Yeah.
Push that down. Push that down.
No, they're going to win it. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I would say if you guys were betting men, where would you guys open up City's odds at? I would say what, 1-2 or something like that.
I'd say probably 8 to 11, considering long season. It's the kind of money.
Mm.
You'd have them bet
I
60,
would
70%.
I'm going to go evens because breaking news from David Ornstein, West Ham have tonight received a formal offer from Manchester City to sign Declan Rice.
You know,
If
evens is
that transfer
longer.
happens,
Yeah.
I mean...
Is that true? Ornstein just said that Declan Rice.
Official
Breaking
bid
news.
to...
Oh, well,
official bid.
people are going to know when we've recorded this podcast now. Oh.
Just means the editing has to be done faster, you know.
I will say
No.
though, I will say Declan Rice is an interesting one because I don't know where he fits in Man City's system
Yeah.
directly.
I think
I
it's
do.
midfield.
Where Gundogan sat.
As a box-to-box role?
Yeah, he
I
plays in
think,
box
yeah.
to
I
box.
That's
think
where he plays
Kovacic is going
now.
to play that role.
No, Kovacic will be cover for Rodri, that's it. He won't be a starting. He's a squad player.
Hmm.
You also have your man Calvin Phillips as well.
I think this is his end because Rice can cover that homegrown quota that Calvin
Yeah.
Phillips covers as
Yeah.
well. I think
Yeah.
I think Daniel makes a good point. And the last time that I said that a player wouldn't fit in Manchester City's system, he scored 54 goals.
Wait, you said that about Haaland? You said that
No,
about
I said it-
Haaland?
I said it would take him. I said it would take him time to get used to the system, like it did
Okay.
with
like a
Grealish
week.
and, like a year. Turns out, it did not take any time for him.
It would have done if he was a human being.
Robot.
I'm more scared. This is as good he is while adjusting. This is him in his adjustment period, and I'm worried it's going to be like next season.
So are we
So-
all in agreement we can put Manchester City first
Yeah.
for 4 league titles in a row? Can
Yeah.
we throw up at some point the "Are We the Farmers" gif, please?
Oh yeah,
Don't
from
worry.
Peep Show.
Yeah, well, are we the farmers?
We can tweet it, but I'm not good enough at doing this sort of podcast thing yet to put up gifs. But maybe in future, like, because I'm doing my best here. Okay.
Maybe
Is the merch up yet?
maybe LA can just act it out. That's the easiest way I think for us to just cover that. He just acts the meme out. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That's perfect.
based on the Rice news, I presume we all think that Arsenal are going to finish in the top 4.
I will caveat
barely.
that
Hmm.
that I'm not sure. So if I was an Arsenal fan, and I assume Arsenal players would feel the same way about this, they'd have to commit to at least going far in the Champions League and doing well in the Premier League. And as we've seen consistently before, and what you're going to see with both Chelsea and Tottenham not having uh, like any European football, they can play a fresh squad every week and play only once a week. Arsenal will have a grueling, not as grueling as the Europa League now. Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday schedule, and I don't know how that team will get used to, especially considering how heavily they rotated last year in the Europa League. That a lot of other core players didn't play on a frequent basis.
I still think they'll get at least top 4.
Yeah, I think they'll make the top 4. Definitely. Yeah, I think top 4 is fair. I don't think they'll challenge for the league this year.
I don't think anybody
Yeah.
will next year.
No.
I think they'd come fourth or fifth. And the only reason why
I'm with Daniel.
I think Chelsea will get top 4,
Oh,
and I think
no.
United will get top
No.
4.
No, I'm not with
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yeah.
You lost me.
Did you just say you're not with Daniel?
Not anymore. Chelsea's top 4.
I just
I was
think the
with
fact
Daniel
they
for a
play.
second, but
I think the fact they play once a week.
First I thought I was out, but
It's
then they pulled me
such-
back in.
Nah, the once a week is such an advantage that I truly don't think it can be underestimated. And the same with Spurs. I think obviously it will depend on Spurs' signings, but both players mean they can play Saturday, rest for a whole week, play Saturday, and that was the biggest issues facing United this season. We literally played Wednesday, what was it? Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Was it every week between Jan and Feb all the way till
No,
May?
December.
I think the thing
Yeah,
is, though,
from the World Cup.
if you look at Arsenal, though, they have better depth than you actually think. Because if you look at left back, they've got Tierney, who's their backup option. Then they're signing another right back, I believe. Then they also have Kiwior. They've got they have Tomiyasu and White at right back. Then they signed Kiwior, and then they've signed Trossard, Martinelli. They have Emile Smith-Rowe. They have Odegaard.
Yeah.
They've got so much depth that isn't really talked about. I think in the Champions League, they're going to be a decent seed. So they will be playing against one side at least, which won't be great. And they have the squad depth, I think, to rotate more than people believe. And then as well as that, if they're at home and they're playing somebody like Burnley, they can easily afford to play Leandro Trossard over Martinelli. So and then like some players like Saka, they've got the resilience and the strength and the stamina and the condition to play every game.
They're about to pick up Jurriën Timber as well, who I think we really wanted.
Yeah.
I would like to counter
I'll
that depth
concede.
argument. I want to counter that depth argument with the fact that they still have, as of now, I mean, you guys are talking about Timber. They still have Rob Holding as their center back. That's their depth.
He's
And
fourth choice,
when Rob
though.
Holding came in.
Yeah, he's not like
Who's
not
three?
that high.
Who's the third choice?
They signed Kiwior for 30 million last January.
But that's not somebody who is proven in the Prem.
He played a few. They played a few games, like.
I would also say Tomiyasu and White can play centre half.
And
So if they get a right back, that means that I can see them playing like a White, Gabriel, and then playing Saliba and Kiwior, something like that.
Saliba can play
As a
right back
rotation.
as well, yeah.
There you go.
So can I just do something straight off the bat here? So I think we're all going to agree with this one.
High mid-table. Yeah,
yeah,
that's good. Even without their gambling man up front.
I would have said
yeah.
differently if they had Tony.
I would have
What would
thought
you say?
They'd be
higher.
higher. They would be higher with Tony.
And
If
then
you're gonna put Brentford up in that mix, you're taking somebody down. And I don't know if you're gonna see Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea's not gonna finish 12th again. So who are you gonna remove from the top 7 there?
no, this isn't like I'm saying they're in this position from 8th to 12th.
Yeah,
Because these and it doesn't matter. These positions are normally like 5 points in between them. I'd say if we're looking
Aston
at
Villa will
this,
be higher. I think
oh,
Aston Villa will get Conference League.
That's what I'm saying. Like Daniel's saying they're going to be higher, but that means you're knocking somebody else out. That means you're counting on Chelsea or someone to have an 8th place here. I guess Tottenham maybe.
Yeah,
I'd
if they lose
say
Kane.
Liverpool. And the reason why I'll say Liverpool is again depth issue and that grueling schedule
I
with
think
aging
Liverpool have good
players.
depth.
Yeah, Liverpool.
They have.
And I mean specifically midfield.
They're
If
silent
they
players, though.
They
if they
are.
get
They're
another
addressing
defensive
that.
midfielder, I'll withdraw this. But there is no
Don't
way they
withdraw.
can go into next season and do our grueling schedule with Fabinho, Henderson. I know obviously McAllister's great, but he's an 8 or 10.
Mhm.
I don't know. Obviously, then Thiago, and then they had the two youngsters. I don't think that. I think they get torn apart. I truly think with that schedule.
Well,
I
what
don't
about the
know.
guys that are coming back? What about the guys who are coming back? I mean, Jota didn't play
Yeah.
pretty much the whole
Nunez
year.
as
He's
well.
just in and out. Nunez is what he is, I think, but they don't actually need him to be good if Jota and Diaz and Salah are rolling. They don't actually need Nunez to be anything more than depth. If Jota's healthy, which is a big if, they don't actually need Nunez except to play a certain role. They don't. Last year, all those guys were hurt, so they had to funnel all their offense through Nunez, and we saw him miss. I mean, his conversion rate, I think, on the year is about 9%, which is atrocious for a
Shall
player in the top six. So I mean, I definitely hear what you're saying, Daniel, and they're going to have to integrate all these players, and they haven't actually shipped any of them out, right? They still have Thiago, they still have Henderson,
Yeah.
they still have Fabinho's legs like fell off somehow when he was, what's he 30, and his legs he's running around without legs.
Yeah.
And then you had, TAA's role. They changed his role, and he was very, very important to them in that last stretch in the run-in. So I don't know. I can see they did it right.
I honestly think that Liverpool will finish top four.
Yeah, I agree.
I think top four will be City, Arsenal, United, and Liverpool. And then I think fifth and sixth will be Chelsea and Spurs.
Change United for Chelsea. I am not backing United to be top four. I mean, controversial and hot take, but
I agree.
I'm saying sixth max, mostly because the entire upheaval around the ownership and how long it is going to take the board to get players in that they want or get players in at all will mean Eric Ten Hag goes away to the United States for preseason with 0 new signings, which means integrating new signings into a squad once the season has already begun, and then you're chasing shadows again. Combine that with a Champions League campaign as opposed to your Europa League campaign, and suddenly they're not in the top four anymore at all.
And to go one further, I can completely see Ten Hag, if he's not being backed, walking away. And I mean that this guy is a world-class manager, clearly shown at United that he can be a pragmatist as well as being an idealist. And I think any other team will jump at the chance and would clearly back him in the way that he has been backed now. I love the man, but if I was in his situation, in terms of a work environment where you still have a bloated squad, you haven't truly upgraded based on last season, and that it'll be 12 months before footballing structure comes in, regardless of who the ownership takes, are you delaying your career by 12 months when you can go to potentially Real Madrid in what will eventually be a mid-season sacking with Carlo Ancelotti? I think that's the most obvious thing to come out of next season. I love Carlo Ancelotti, but I can see him doing that, which is a real shame.
I think Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool top four is probably accurate. Chelsea, I mean, we haven't spoke about Chelsea yet. The squad that they have, they were terrible last season. They finished 12th, spending 600 million. But that squad now has a full season under their belt where they're getting to know each other. And what's the old football saying? Form is temporary, class is permanent. Though the class in that squad, they're too good.
This is actually a much harder thing than I have thought, because I'm just looking at the teams that I've got here laid out from 1 to 8, and I don't know where Newcastle are, because they're going to make serious signings with like Tonali and things like that. Could they finish top 4?
I think we take Tottenham down and put Newcastle in that range with United and fighting for the top 4. I think Tottenham are in rebuild.
Yeah,
even if
I
they
agree.
keep Kane.
equally, Newcastle. Like Newcastle had the second best defense. I think they had a second or third best defense in the
Second,
Premier League. And like when their attack was clicking, it was clicking. They clearly upgraded on one of their weakest areas in midfield, taking out probably Murphy, put in Tonali. He's worth 70 million. Is a whole different conversation.
They need
But
left back.
and yeah, but I think if their biggest issue is a left back, all
Good
I'm
point.
saying is United's biggest issue is midfield, striker,
Goalkeeper.
right back,
goalkeeper.
goalkeeper. There's a lot more problematic issues, and I think if we're putting United there, I think Newcastle have got to go up a bit further. And
I
the
think
same
they've
way we're
got a
talking.
great manager as well. Eddie Howe is such a good manager.
All I'm saying is on Vito and Chelsea being top four.
Yeah, so am I.
No,
They were in 12th last year. They still have a whole bunch of players. So they just shipped out like 4 to Saudi Arabia or something, or 5. They actually, you were
Yeah.
saying they have a whole year of working with each other. They do, but if you're working with each other on a project that's failing completely, does that really count as generating cohesion? I'm not sure that it does. I think Pochettino, you make a good point, LA, about how they're going to be coming together because they're going to have an actual direction from the preseason rather than starting with a guy they know they're going to fire in Tuchel like last year and not having, they're not on the same page. I think they'll be on the same page this year, but you're asking for a huge leap from a team that absolutely disintegrated in the second half of the year. The likes of we have not seen from a top 6 team, maybe in the Premier League era, for how much money they spend and how poorly they
Since
did.
United 2 seasons ago.
They still don't have a. They still don't have a striker. They still don't have a striker, and they're going to be
They
starting
don't.
Kepa.
They got Jackson.
They don't-
Jackson Martinez.
Wait,
No.
Kepa starting striker?
Nico
36 million?
Jackson.
Nico, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't. They don't need necessarily a striker in the system that they're going to be playing.
Yeah.
You look at the Man City squad post Aguero before Haaland. They played a system that was set up around the amount of chances that they created.
It's Poch
Doesn't
though.
matter. Yeah,
It's Poch. Poch has always had somebody like a Graziano Pell or a Harry Kane. He's always had a focus in the attack. While Chelsea, as in grand, maybe if they bring back Lukaku, but that's not happening. We all know that. And then if you think about like Nkunku's a great player, but he's more of like a player who can play anywhere across the front three, except for the striker. He can play as a supporting striker where he does the runs behind. He sort of reminds me of Werner in that way, where he needs a foil to work with him. And I don't think they have that. But
They're
It'll be
trying to
better.
get one.
I think it's worth coming back and maybe at the start of the season, especially after we see some teams in preseason,
yeah,
coming back to this. Because the important thing with Chelsea too is clearly they're in selling mode, and their biggest holes isn't just finding a clear striker. It's also in the wings. In right wing, they only have I don't know butcher his name, but the guy they got from Eindhoven, PSV Eindhoven. He's English and he wears a bandana.
Madueke.
Yeah, there you go.
he's class to be fair, yeah.
Within that
good.
midfield, Enzo's the only decent central midfielder they have going forward.
Mason
They seem pretty
Mount.
solid at the back.
Mason Mount, yeah.
Yeah, he's leaving to be fair, yeah.
So I
That's
think
if he does.
I will.
and then
That will be agreed at 55 million.
yeah.
We skipped over Manchester United a little bit because we were talking about the upheaval. But it's worth noting, guys, that Manchester United, with all this noise during the season and a World Cup and a bunch of injuries, did finish not comfortably in third at the end of the day. I mean, it looks like it was comfortable, but it really wasn't. The style that the Manchester United play was very good at the end of the year, and they made their Premier League spot while playing Thursday, Sunday. Now they'll be playing Tuesday, Wednesday. Who knows how long they'll actually make it in the Champions League campaign. I think that actually benefits them a little bit, and they have a good structure. Now, if Ten Hag leaves because of all this weird ownership stuff, then I absolutely think that United will drop like a rock. But I think United's in a better shape than Chelsea is, and they have, just like you were saying with Chelsea, they have a whole year of playing under a cohesive system that everybody understands now. And even though Phil Jones is gone, guys, I think we still have a decent chance of
I think all you have to consider is the fact that we finished third place with Weghorst as our striker.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, and also we had Lisandro Martinez, who was injured for the second half of the season. Harry Maguire was out of the team for some reason. I don't know why. And then also, sorry, I had to do it. But then as well as that, you also have to realize Christian Eriksen was injured. Casemiro got bans every 2 days.
Every 2
Like,
days.
but like the thing is, when you look at the team, any team that has Bruno Fernandes in it has a chance. Let's just be real.
Here's my hot take. Manchester United finished in the top 4 last season because Chelsea and Liverpool didn't. They had such a big fall off.
Yeah.
That is why there was
Yeah.
room for them in the top 4. I don't think they played well enough to get the top 4 on merit. I think there was an empty space and they just happened to fill it along with Newcastle. My concern is the United squad needs too much work, and they're not going to get that done in a transfer window where the ownership is under such a big cloud. They need a striker. They need a goalkeeper. They need a midfielder. It's too much to get done in one window.
I think you can sign a striker, and I think you can sign a striker who is better than Anthony Martial easily. All you need is a player who's fit. Yeah, true. But then as well as that, a goalkeeper, like, because we're targeting Onana and also Diogo Costa, who are clear and obvious improvements in terms of style, which fit Eric Ten Hag. And that will take us on in terms of a transformative change immeasurably. Like, it's the kind of thing, and Onana's 50 million. That's not a difficult fee to spend, even with the budget we have. Even just getting a player like Onana changes us. If we put... Go ahead.
If we are broke, Inter haven't a penny to their name. If we think of ownership issues, I think 50 million for Onana, we could probably get him for less, to be honest.
I will concede on these points when they happen, but these are Manchester United are interested in. Manchester United are watching, monitoring, scouting, observing. How many different synonyms for we are not signing this player yet?
I think the thing is, you can study.
Nope.
You can study Fabrizio Romano in the terms or how to phrase things in different ways, but saying the exact same thing. It's like if you bought a thesaurus and then just found one word like interested, linked with, and then just went with it. You could post that every day. It's what we are. But the thing is, with this list, obviously, it is a very flexible and dynamic list, and something that is going to change. If United sign Kane, United go up. If Chelsea signs 600 million worth of players, they go up again. But like the thing is, this list is just a list. It's an idea. It's not going to be perfect. But
I think we revisit this list at the end of the transfer window and do it again.
I'm fine with that.
That's fair.
I will say, and I can say confidently, if David De Gea is our starting keeper next season, we are finishing 8th.
If David De Gea is our starting goalkeeper next season, I won't make it past the start of the season.
I can't have another Liverpool game where the XG, I know XG should be based on the course of a season, but within the game, what was it, like 2 points?
3.5.
3.5, and we conceded 7 goals. When we played Chelsea, we had a higher expected goal rate than that.
Yeah.
And then that's with the blunders at the Brentford game.
I can't live past another Brentford game. I cannot. I was hungover watching that. I wanted to find a bridge and jump off it. It was that bad. But yeah, I agree. If we have De Gea as goalkeeper, it's not going to be good.
I would just like to point out, guys, that with De Gea and with Wout Weghorst and Anthony Martial up top, that Manchester United put up 75 points on the season. And that is the most points Manchester United have had since like 3 years ago. I think it was Ole's best year.
Season, was it?
Yeah, 75 season, points with all those players and any kind of improvement that Manchester United makes. Because Ten Hag, as long as he is still, I think LA brought up a good point, and Daniel too, as long as Ten Hag is still involved, I think Manchester United will have a good DNA and will compete. There will be injuries. There are always going to be injuries, but you can't be bringing a championship. You can't be a player who didn't even make it in the championship off the bench when you're playing for these trophies like they did in the FA Cup. So, yeah, I mean, a lot depends on the transfer window. We'll come back around, guys. You know what all these teams need, especially Manchester United? Alvaro Morata. I think he's the answer.
No,
to
get
every-
out of here.
Suitcases
Ironically,
full of cash.
I would take Alvaro Morata right now. If we start
you
the
would,
first game
yeah.
of the season with Alvaro Morata, I would actually be happy because while he may not be able to score, he can at least header the ball.
The bar is the floor.
Watching Wout Weghorst, one of the tallest players I've ever seen, consistently miss headers was like I don't know what I was watching. It was nuts.
All I'm gonna say is I'm the same height as Weghorst, and you know what? I'm shite in the air as well. So height means nothing at heading the ball. Let me tell you that.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you know this, Patty, but the expectations for your heading game is a lot different than Wout Weghorst. I don't know where you're heading the ball.
Don't
Like,
tell my
are you-
girlfriend that way.
Oh.
That's not
This
getting
has
edited
been-
out.
This has been the Attacking Football Podcast.
And we're sorry.
That's a good way to